At first, I thought that this was a quilt. Like I thought that these were cutouts. That's why I couldn't, cause it's so good. It's so good. Um, but the sewing of this blanket, it looks very 1930s. And then the um, the illustrations, the graphics, it's also very 1920s, 1930s. The art and the colors are also very 1920s, 1930s. More like 1920s or 1920s for sure. The boy and the girl have big eyes, and then there's a little doll, and then this looks like the rabbit, the famous rabbit, but her hair is not 1930s. This is a very like late 50s, like early 60s, probably. And there's a cat and a dog, and then there's a little baby, and then these are hens and chickens. So I have had this blanket for a long time, um because I don't collect anymore. This right here, see, there's a fabric in between these two. That's the fabric right there, because somebody, well, this was like this, like it was ripped. So I found it and I put it in a bag for decades, believe it or not. That's how old I am. And then I really thought that it was a 1930s blanket for a baby. Uh, it is just so good, so good. So, but I now I know what's going on now that I paid attention to it. And basically, um, it's just one fabric. So this is a one print done very well, but because it was washed for a long time, for like really, so the color faded and then it became like older than what it looks like. What I like about this is that this person had the time to sew a top stitch in white, off white, white, with the machine going like this, because they made it look really art deco-ish. And then this part right here is they, you know, there's there's the fabric right here. This is just one fabric, one cotton, and then this is the other fabric. And then in the middle there's that other fabric that I showed you, which is because it makes it look heavy like a blanket. And then they sewed around it with the machine, right? They sewed it around with the machine. They first obviously had to sew they had to sew this. Oh, no. Let's see. Yes. What happened was that they sewed, the first layer was sewn by hand. This was sewn by hand with the lining in the middle. The top stitch that goes like this is sewn on the backing, which is this one, not the lining. The first details were done by hand to hold the fabric, right? And then when she was done with putting the back, the middle, the inside with this, that's not showing over here, then she started sewing. Then she started sewing with the machine. She just went like this, and then she started doing like boom, boom. This was a lot of work. And then over here, there's like a top stitch right here by hand, which is not showing. No, it is showing by hand. Okay? It's complicated, folks, because this is what quilting is all about. And then some kind of a quilt, right? Because it's just like a top stitch on a machine, but it was done also by hand. And then when this was done by hand, then they put the fabrics together and they sew the sides, they turn it inside out. Then they did the top stitch on all of the fabrics together, and then she did she did the top stitch by hand on both. So I'm trying to see where the opening is to turn it over inside out. Well, this one right here has a top stitch, so that's normal. Let's see. This is all like top stitch by hand to make it look more like 1930s. I feel like this person, when they created this, they wanted to look like it was from the 1920s. Like, you know, but this was made probably in the 1950s. Because her hair is very 1950s, like Grease. And then because of all the washing and the age, and now it's old, it looks to me, I thought it was really 1920s, but it isn't. It is a really great piece. This is what people would love, is that it's used, that the color is faded. There's a lot of things that are going on this blanket that is really, really good. It needs a really good wash, and then ready to be used. I'm gonna put this on my eBay store for sure. This is the only way that you can support me right now on my YouTube channel, by going to my eBay store and checking out my fabulous men's and women's vintage clothing and accessories. And then I have rarities, like some really great stuff. I have excellent feedback. This is a really great, really beautiful blanket for a collector. To finish the video, I was gonna say, you can Instagram me, Metavog, hashtag Metavog Vintage. See, Metavog Vintage. And that's my actual store on eBay. So it's eBay/STR, which means store, STR/Metavog Vintage. You'll be able to find me. But you can always ask me questions on these and other items. I don't know the price on this. I will take offers of probably more than $100 for sure. It's just an incredible piece, and it's a really great big size. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.